Welcome back, everyone, to video number 11 in our Let's Play series of Motorsport Manager. Now, we are down to our final race in our very first season. We have the Black Sea GP coming up in 24 days, you can see here. And so let's take a quick look at our team standings. This is kind of where we left off in our previous video. We are now here in fourth position. Again, the prize fund of 125 million, at least portion of that is broken apart amongst the teams. So the higher we finish in the championship for team championship, the more money we're going to get at the end of the season, and that's what we need. Obviously, more money enables us to build more buildings and eventually better parts. Okay, so that is a big deal going forward. Also, our marketability, we're up to 81.3, and you can see here the breakdown of that. Okay, Sergio at 100%, Rafael at 95%. Huge number, so we can't really get much better than that. Team marketability is now up to 49%, so that's been steadily climbing, and that, I would imagine, is based a lot, or at least primarily, on our finishing position. So the better we finish, the higher our marketability. Our drivers are already up there. We need the team to be up there as well. Also, you notice that we have one final race on these two sponsors. One sponsor that we have not had a chance to really use yet because, or hadn't had a chance to use in a while because they want us to finish 16th or above. And their bonus just isn't all that high. And then the other sponsor is the one that we've been using most often because they require a 6th place or above. So these will be replaced, and I wonder what we will get given our much higher marketability than we had, particularly whenever we signed this very first slot. So with all that going on, let's take a look at where our team is right now. We've got to first repair the car. So we'll go ahead and allow that to happen. Okay, and so we've got car repair is finished. Okay, so we come in and take a look at our car. What can we improve for the final race? Well, we've already got the suspension that's going to be ready 13 days before the race. And as far as I can tell, that's pretty much it. Nothing here for brakes that we can really do. Nothing for engine that we can do. Nothing for the front and rear wing because those are spec parts. And we're now maxed out on gearbox. So the only thing left to do is the suspension. So we're in good shape there. Again, I don't want to design any new parts because at the end of the year, one of the videos that we'll get to, again, probably a couple of videos from now, is once we get to the end of the season, we will move to the new car and get new pieces, and we'll be back at the bottom still as far as relationship to our team in relation to other cars. But the key thing will be, can we improve our parts a lot more next year because of having better design options through our headquarters? Again, we'll see how all that works its way out, but for now, that's really my goal, is to spend the next season really trying to improve our headquarters rather than worry so much about our parts. I'm very interested in the future beyond this division. Okay, so we've got some mail that says our performance work is complete. So everything is good there. Let's come in. And now they're working on reliability. And you can see there's really not much else on the performance side to do. So we're going to let that be and continue on. All right, so we got the other series, the other top tier series are now running. We're not concerned with that. So we come back in. All right, so we're almost here. Now, we have been to the Black Sea GP before. It was our very first race of the season. So if we take a quick look, let's see, factory staff, yes, we know they're idle because we run out of things to do. Now, we have one contract that's running down, and that is for our development driver, our scout driver. Okay, our reserve driver here. And unfortunately, I don't really see a reason to do anything with this driver because I've not seen a reason to have him. Now, what could be interesting is if you had a reserve driver that spent their time driving in the simulator, which of course we don't have yet. But once you get one, if you had a reserve driver that ran in the simulator to work on better base setups and also ran on the test track to aid in the performance upgrades for things like engines and brakes and so on. So now that would be a reason to want to sign a top-notch reserve driver. But to this point, I've not really seen one, so I'm going to see if I can get by without one and just save that $53,000 per race. I'll see how it goes. I'm not sure if I can get by without one or not, or how that works, but we're about to find out. Let's come back in and see that now it's time to get ready for the race. Okay, so here we are. What do we choose? Well, to me, there's only $300,000 difference, which again is still a huge amount, but not enough for me to take the risk of having to finish second. So I'm going to stick with the safe play here and go with the 6th or above. Now let's look at the parts. Nothing to change here. We've got, as good as we can get on both cars, and they're set up fairly equal. Now the difference is going to be Rafael has now moved up a little bit in driver points because of his wins and great finishes, so he'll be starting down farther in the race grid, whereas Sergio has moved up as well. He's also going to be moving down a little farther. That's going to make it tougher for us to finish better. So yet another reason why I don't want to bank on trying to finish in the top 2. All right. With that information all set, I believe we're ready to race. All right, so now it's time to get ready for the race. I decided to cut out the practice session here to save a little bit of time in the videos. The videos are running a little bit longer than I would like. So I decided to cut out the practice session. So you're going to be able to see the setup that I ended with regardless. So this will save you a little bit of time. And you can see here, we did excellent in the practice session. So definitely not going to touch the setup here with 98%. Again, hard to get very much better than that. We'll take a quick look at our weather forecast and see that hard to do much better on the setup. Looks like dry weather tires are the way to go. We'll start out with 6 laps of fuel, but we need to make that stretch a little bit more than I would like because the race overall is 15 laps. So we can stretch it to 7 laps of fuel pretty easy, but I'm not sure about more than that. But we'll see. That's the fun of the game, is seeing if you can get this all worked out. All right. So here, the very same setup that we were using over there doesn't quite get us the same strength. You can see only a 92 here. So we got 2 excellents here. So we need to see what we can do with. So we got great on aero, good, and then good. So let's go back over here and see that 17.3 and 26.3 is what worked before. So I'm going to use that. So he wants a little bit more downforce there. Okay, and that changes. Let's see. Can we get the speed balance back? Yeah, pretty close there. We can get it very close, and the handling didn't change very much at all. Okay, so I think we're in good shape there. Okay, soft tires, 6 laps of fuel. All right, and we are ready to go. All right, so the starting grid, you can see once again, we are starting lower than we're used to. So we're going to be starting 5th and 13th. So I'm a little worried that we're starting back in the pack with both cars now. Okay, so we're underway. Strategy is basically going to be the same as we're used to. The only difference is I noticed during practice that they were having a hard time getting heat into the tires. So I've actually upped the strategy for them to push. So hopefully that'll get a little bit more heat in the tires. So far, it's not getting quite enough, I don't think. But it could be worse, I think. All right, so here we are. We're battling in the middle of the pack. I'm really hoping they don't make contact with any other cars, because now that would mean an extra pit stop to make repairs, or actually could end our race. So we're running 9th, and poor Sergio has dropped all the way to the back of the field. And so we're not doing too well right now. It's not looking good for a podium finish, that's for sure. All right, so Sergio's fighting back. He's back up to 18th. But if you look over here, you can see the conga line is a very real thing. Now, we've got pit stops already starting. That's a little odd that they would be starting quite that quickly. But maybe they had some damage or something. Maybe there was a wreck that I didn't see a message about. Messages flash so quickly at the bottom of the screen that it's easy to miss them. All right, so now here we are, lap 4. We got 3.46 and 3.49. So our fuel looks pretty good. It's still, I think, going to be a stretch to get where we need to be. Oh, and now we've got a safety car. Not only do we have a safety car, let's go ahead and pause things. Let's see, I tell you what, we won't pause things. Let's just slow things down a little bit. Oh, wow, it looks like it is going to get wet. What do we do? Do we come in, put enters on? It's hard to tell with this projection. It looks like the track's going to get wet. And it doesn't look like it's going to clear up anytime soon. Wow, not sure what to do here. For now, I'm going to stick with our strategy. This will get us up to the front of the pack. You can see now we're up to second. And looks like fifth for Sergio. It's not damp enough to need enters just yet, but it looks like in another couple of laps it will be. So the question remains, do I take a chance and put on enters right now, or go ahead and wait and run out our strategy? I think I'm going to wait and run out our strategy and try to keep this to one pit stop if at all possible. Yeah, of course, they're going to be griping. They want to come in for new tires. But we're not quite ready here for that, I don't think. Okay, safety's car is going to make one more lap. Hopefully that'll be good for our fuel. We're on lap 6. And our fuel is looking good. Again, let's take... So my eyes are glued right now to this weather forecast. I need to see... Oh, wow, it looks like it's going to be increasing the wetness of the track. So now, as we get closer to a pit stop, I'm left to wonder, is this going to be good for us? Can we go ahead and put on enters? Do we take a chance with wets? With at least one of our cars, I may do that. Because if this thing continues, the track continues to increase in dampness and gets even more wet, then, which it looks like it's doing as we get farther out. All right, so here we go. Back to racing. We are in second and fifth. Let's see if we can hold on to as much of that as possible. Sergio falling back. And he doesn't seem too happy about it. All right, so we are going to, let's go ahead and pause. I'm going to take a chance, I think, here with wets. This rain does not look like it is letting up anytime soon. And I think the track's just going to continue to get more and more wet. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a chance with Sergio and have him come in. Oops, that's not the one I wanted. I want pits, and I'm going to put him on full wets. Okay, fuel options. Go ahead and 5.72. Well, we're still going to have to really work this if we're going to have a shot to stretch the fuel. Okay, so let's go ahead and have him come in next time by. All right, so we've got 8th. All right, so here we go, coming in next time by. Now we're ready to set up here, and I think I'm going to... Wow, I really want the wet tires. I'm a little afraid to do it, though. We're going to go with enters on him. We're going to split up our options. And full of fuel still shows we're not going to quite make it. But we're going to go with it. All right, also, hopefully he's got enough fuel to make it back around. All right, so we've got wet tires on here. And, again, that looks like that's going to be a pretty good idea. All right, so he's not, you can see he's not too happy with me for putting him on wets right now. But again, I'm taking the bet for the remainder of the race, not just for the next lap or so. All right, so we just barely made it on fuel. And here he comes out of the pits. Sergio is going to be right behind him, it looks like. Yeah, here they go. All right, so he's not too happy about the pit stop. We've got one car on enters, one on wets. Looks like everybody is on enters right now. But remember, they've got one more pit stop to make, and it looks like here they come to make that pit stop. We are way behind. But it looks like the track just continues to get wetter and wetter And we'll see, do they continue on inters? It looks like so far the cars that have come in have stayed on inters. So we'll see if we can make up some time that way. In the meantime, I'm really hoping that our fuel is able to last to the end of the race. All right, at this point, let's see. I'm going to back this down to neutral for our strategy. And because I'm really worried about that fuel. It's obvious to me that our pace is just not there for this race. We are, even with a good setup, I mean, a setup that's around, 98, 97%, we're still not there. We don't have any pace at all for this track. All right, so he's saying the track is dried out. No, it's actually getting wetter. Now that makes me feel much better about our wet tire strategy that we have for Sergio. Wow. So if anything, it's definitely not drying out. I think that's another bug that's where the driver feedback is actually going backwards. Because it is 100% not getting more dry out there, that's for sure. All right, so the weather looks like it's going to continue raining, continue getting wet, and we're going to have a soaked track. So this should really help out Sergio. But unfortunately, you can see the pace is not bad. He's a good bit faster than Rodriguez now. And we are just way off the pace for this race. That's odd. Our strategy was pretty good. I mean, we're going to end up with one stop. So that's not, terrible or anything. But at the same time, our pace is just way too far off to make anything work. All right, so we're trying to make up spots. Looks like here comes Sergio. He is going to be passing Rodriguez here very shortly, I would imagine. Okay, yep, he's going to go by him here. Okay, and let's see if, well, we're on our final lap. So he's got about a half lap. There's a couple of cars here you can see ahead that are on inters. Well, we got one on wets and one on inters up ahead. He's got a chance. We're in the last few corners here. All right, and it doesn't look like we're going to make it. Oh, he's out of fuel. Okay, so and race is ending, and are we really out of fuel? It looks like we are. So we are dropping like a rock in the standings right here. Can we manage to finish? There's another car. Looks like it is out of fuel as well. So looks like we're going to finish 16th and 17th in this race. Definitely not the ending we were looking for, but it looks like it was finally time to pay for our terrible car performance that even strategy couldn't make up for this time. All right, so let's go ahead and work our way through these final screens. And okay, so it looks like we've picked up another position because I thought we were 16th and 17th, but we're 15th and 17th. And that hurts Sergio in the Drivers' Championship there at the end. He drops to 11th, and we end up 11th and 19th. Okay, and we fall to 6th place in the Team Championship. So that's where we're going to end there. Let's go ahead and move forward and see what happens to our morale. It's got to take a big hit here with that poor performance. Again, we had good setups. Yeah, you can see. Well, morale is actually not terrible there, so not the end of the world. But at the same time, we lost a little bit of happiness here. We're in no danger of losing our job, though, so we're fine. Lost a little bit of marketability, but not terrible, in the grand scheme of things. I think we had a good year overall. So we'll come back next video and we'll sort of wrap up our first season and then look ahead to season 2. Once again, thank you very much. I can't thank you enough for all your support on not only this series, but all the series here on the channel. Thank you for joining me for video number 11 in our Let's Play series, and stay tuned for more Motorsport Manager.